Chosen one, listen carefully. This message you about to hear, there was a moment no one saw but you, a decision made in silence, a sacrifice no one applauded. And when you thought it went unnoticed, heaven took notice, not because it was loud, not because it was dramatic, but because it was rare. You chose integrity when revenge was easier. You chose patience when anger was justified. You chose faith when doubt was screaming. And in that instant, the unseen realm reacted, not with noise, but with awe, because what you did was not common. It was the mark of someone set apart. The moment you realized was testing you. There was a test hidden inside your pain. It didn't come labeled, it didn't warn you. It came disguised as betrayal, delay, rejection. You thought it was just another hardship, another unfair chapter, but it was a mirror, a weighing scale, a moment designed to reveal what was truly inside you. Most people break when pressure rises. Most people compromise when no one is watching, but you didn't. Even when your heart was heavy, you refused to lower yourself. You refused to become bitter. That decision shook the unseen, because it proved something rare. It proved you are not controlled by circumstances. You are guided by conviction. Heaven is not impressed by perfection. It is moved by sincerity, by restraint, by character under fire. When you walked away instead of retaliating, when you forgave instead of plotting, when you stayed disciplined instead of collapsing, that was the moment everything shifted. You thought you lost, but in reality you passed. Why chosen ONESR, always misunderstood. If you've always felt different, it's not random. You see deeper, you question louder, you refuse to follow blindly. That alone makes you uncomfortable to the world. Society thrives on conformity, but chosen ones disrupt patterns. They don't fit into shallow conversations or empty ambitions. People sense your depth even when you're silent. They project onto you. They misunderstand you. They sometimes isolate you, not because you are wrong, but because your presence exposes what they avoid within themselves. Being chosen doesn't mean being celebrated. It often means being tested, being doubted, being labeled too intense or too sensitive. But what they call too much is actually alignment. You feel deeply because your heart is awake. And when you chose growth over ego, heaven saw maturity beyond your years. The silent battles you fought alone. No one saw the nights you wrestled with doubt. No one heard the prayers whispered in frustration. No one understood how many times you almost gave up, but you didn't. You stood back up quietly. You kept going quietly. You trusted quietly. That quiet endurance is powerful, because strength that doesn't need applause is the strongest kind. The world celebrates loud victories, but heaven honors silent obedience. It honors the one who stays principled when it costs them relationships. It honors the one who holds onto faith even when answers are delayed. Your struggle was not wasted, it was witnessed. Why your decision shifted your destiny. There are crossroads in life that don't look dramatic. They feel small, insignificant, but they carry eternal weight. The day you decided to heal instead of hate, that was a crossroads. The day you refused to compromise your values for temporary gain, that was a crossroads. You thought you were just surviving, but you were being elevated. Character unlocks doors talent never can. Integrity attracts protection strategy never could. When you made that decision, you aligned yourself with something higher, and alignment changes outcomes. Doors begin to open differently. Opportunities shift. People who once ignored you begin to notice you. Not because you chased validation, but because you chose truth. The weight of being different. Being chosen can feel lonely. You outgrow spaces faster than others. Conversations start to feel shallow. Environments feel heavy. It's not arrogance, it's awareness. You crave purpose over popularity, meaning over noise, depth over distraction. That hunger sets you apart, and sometimes it isolates you. But isolation is often preparation. Separation builds clarity. It sharpens your discernment. It strengthens your reliance on what truly matters. Heaven was not shocked by your strength. It was moved by your consistency. The signs you were always set apart. You've always felt a pull toward something bigger. Even as a child, you sensed you weren't meant to follow the crowd. You questioned systems. You felt injustice deeply. You carried wisdom beyond your years. You've endured more than most, not because you were cursed, but because pressure produces diamonds. Resistance builds resilience. Every challenge you survived carved depth into your character. Every rejection redirected you. Every setback refined you. You are not behind. You are being built. Why society tries to silence the awakened. Awakened minds cannot be controlled easily. When you think independently, when you stand firm in your values, when you refuse to compromise your soul for approval, that threatens systems built on distraction. People may try to minimize you. They may mock your growth. They may question your path. But often, criticism is just insecurity in disguise. You are not here to blend in. You are here to influence quietly, authentically, steadily. And the more you rise internally, the more external resistance you may feel. That's not coincidence. That's confirmation. The truth about heaven being shocked. Heaven is not shocked in the human sense, but there are moments when sincerity stands out, when a heart chooses obedience over impulse, when someone chooses patience over pride. Those moments are rare, and rarity carries weight. You demonstrated something most never reach, self-control rooted in faith. That decision didn't just protect your future, it strengthened your spirit, it raised your standard, it separated you from old cycles. You broke patterns generations struggled with. That is not small. You are entering a different season. After refinement comes responsibility. After testing comes trust. When you pass internal battles, you are entrusted with greater impact. Expect clarity, expect new alignments, expect environments that reflect your growth, but also expect continued discipline. Growth is not a single event, it's a lifelong path. Do not shrink now. Do not doubt now. The very fact that you endured proves you are capable of more. You were not overlooked, you were observed, and you were elevated. Now it's your move. Chosen one, embrace who you are becoming. Stop apologizing for your depth. Stop dimming your awareness. The world needs steady hearts, principled minds, grounded souls. If this message resonated with you, it's not by accident. It's a reminder, a confirmation, a call to remain firm and sincere. Like this video if you feel seen. Comment below if you've walked through silent battles and came out stronger. And subscribe to Return to Awakening if you are ready to continue this journey of clarity, discipline, and spiritual growth. Your awakening is not random. Stay grounded, stay sincere, and keep walking forward, the power of quiet obedience. Many think that impact must be loud to be noticed. They believe action is measured by applause, recognition, or immediate reward. But the truth is different. Real power moves silently. Real change begins in invisible choices. Every time you resisted temptation, every time you chose patience over anger, every time you acted with integrity when no one watched, you created ripple effects beyond comprehension. You are like a seed planted in the unseen. Growth happens beneath the surface first. Roots spread silently, anchoring strength before the shoot even appears. Heaven watches these silent decisions closely. It measures them not by flash, but by consistency. And your consistency has not gone unnoticed. The sacredness of your struggle. Not every struggle is punishment. Many are preparation. Every hardship you endured was a workshop for your soul. Pain sharpened you. Rejection strengthened you. Confusion taught you discernment. You were forged in trials so you could carry light where others fail to see. Your endurance is a reflection of a higher standard. Most give up when the weight of life feels unbearable. But you carried burdens quietly and faithfully. That alone signals you are destined for something beyond ordinary comprehension. Remember, heaven does not value ease. It values hearts that choose right, even when everything conspires to make wrong the easier path. The moments that seemed insignificant. Some of your most impactful choices went unnoticed. Some of your greatest acts never made headlines. But significance isn't measured by recognition. It's measured by alignment. Choosing honesty when lies were easier. Choosing love when resentment was deserved. Choosing humility when pride would have justified itself. Each of these moments left a mark in the spiritual realm. The unseen applauds what the seen ignores. The eternal rewards what the temporary misses. And that's why heaven reacted to your life. You acted in ways far beyond what most humans even consider possible. Why you were never meant to fit in. You've always sensed it. Crowds feel uncomfortable. Certain conversations feel shallow. Certain environments feel heavy. It's not by accident. You were designed to operate on a different wavelength. Being chosen means seeing patterns that others miss, feeling currents that others ignore, understanding depth that most avoid. The discomfort you feel around conformity is a signal. It's a reminder that your destiny is higher, your path rarer, your purpose more profound. Embrace the solitude. It is a sacred companion to those walking the path of awakening. The shift that came from resilience. Every time you refused to bend to pressure, every time you remained truthful under scrutiny, every time you chose faith over fear, you caused a shift. Shifts aren't always visible. They don't come with fireworks, but they alter trajectories. They change energy fields. They break generational cycles. Your resilience was a quiet revolution, a rebellion of integrity, a proof that the human spirit can rise above circumstance. Heaven doesn't overlook revolutions of the soul, it sees them clearly, and yours was undeniable. The unseen recognition. Have you ever felt a subtle confirmation, a whisper in your mind or heart that said, "You are on the right path"? That is the unseen acknowledging your choices. It's subtle because those who are chosen do not need external validation. They are aligned internally. They feel the nudge, the guidance, the silent applause. Every time you persevered without reward, every time you acted without audience, every time you chose right over easy, you were being acknowledged by forces far beyond human comprehension. This is the language of heaven, and you spoke it fluently, even when you thought no one was listening. The AWAKNED heart sees truth. Most people never understand their own hearts. They follow trends, obey fear, repeat cycles. But you questioned, you reflected, you observed. Your heart doesn't settle for illusions. It searches for truth, even when the truth is uncomfortable, even when it's isolating, even when it contradicts popular belief. This hunger for authenticity is rare. It is what distinguishes the chosen from the ordinary. And it is why your actions reverberated in the unseen, because only a heart fully awake can make choices that shake realms. The invisible threads of destiny. Every act of courage, every act of restraint, every act of love connects to invisible threads you cannot yet see. These threads guide, protect, and position you. You may feel alone, you may feel tested, you may question the meaning, but every step was guided, every moment had purpose, every challenge had a lesson designed for your growth. The thread of destiny is subtle. It doesn't announce itself, but it never breaks, and you are woven into it stronger than you know. Heaven was never shocked by your intentions. It was moved by your execution. The power of CHOSING, love over fear. Fear whispers, it tempts. It convinces you to settle, to react, to compromise. Most succumb to its weight, but you chose differently. You chose love when anger would have been justified. You chose forgiveness when resentment demanded release. You chose light when darkness surrounded you. These choices are not small. They carry a spiritual weight that echoes beyond your immediate perception. Each act of love strengthens your soul and shifts unseen realities. Heaven does not take note of convenience. It honors courage, consistency, and hearts willing to rise above instinctive reactions. The silence that sbaks. You have learned the strength of quiet. The world often mistakes noise for influence, but the true power of the awakened lies in subtlety. When you resisted gossip, when you held back judgment, when you acted without announcing your intentions, you sent a message louder than words. Silence is not emptiness. It is presence. It is control. It is the calm before unseen storms shift in your favor. And heaven noticed every silent act of discipline. Every quiet choice carved your destiny more sharply than any public triumph ever could. The moments you thought were mistakes. Every decision that felt like a misstep, every choice that seemed to cost you, every door that closed in your face, these were not failures. They were calibrations, redirections, lessons disguised as setbacks. They were shaping your discernment, your patience, your faith. Those moments tested your resolve and revealed the depths of your character. They separated the transient from the eternal within your journey. Heaven's shock wasn't disbelief. It was admiration for the way you navigated trials with wisdom and grace few ever master. The burden and gift of awareness. Being awake comes with weight. You perceive patterns others cannot. You feel energies others ignore. You see consequences before they unfold. This awareness can feel isolating. It can make ordinary conversations tiresome. It can make ordinary environments unbearable. Yet it is a gift, a tool, a lens to guide your purpose. Every insight, every premonition, every heightened intuition is preparation for your role. Heaven marvels at those who carry such burdens without complaint, because in that discipline lies undeniable strength. The spiritual awakening you cannot unsee. Once awakened, the world is no longer ordinary. Once chosen, the illusions fade. Once you see truth, ignorance is no longer comforting. This awakening challenges every comfort zone, every assumption, every shallow attachment, and you face it head-on. It is both terrifying and liberating, both isolating and clarifying, both testing and rewarding. And the very fact that you endured this awakening and continued forward proved to heaven that you are extraordinary. The unexpected protection, that surroundsu. There are forces working silently around you, not all visible, not all tangible, not all explainable. When you made choices rooted in integrity, when you refused to bow to fear, when you acted with selfless courage, unseen protection aligned with your path. Your life began to shift in ways subtle and profound. Opportunities, timing, and guidance converged in quiet perfection. Heaven observed this orchestration and recognized the rare harmony between your choices and destiny. The risks you took that no one saw. Courage is not only in grand gestures. Often it's in the small, unseen choices. Every time you stood for truth, even when wronged. Every time you spoke your mind, even when isolated. Every time you chose growth over comfort. These risks mattered. They mattered more than the visible victories of others. They rewrote the trajectory of your spiritual path. You did not act for recognition. You acted because your soul demanded it, and that is what set you apart. Heaven's shock was not surprise. It was reverence for the courage it witnessed quietly in your life. The moment you refused to compromise. Life always tempts compromise. It promises ease, validation, or immediate reward. Most take it, most settle, most bow to pressure. But you didn't. You refused shortcuts that would betray your truth. You refused ease at the cost of your integrity. You refused to settle for anything less than alignment with your higher self. That refusal resonated in realms beyond the physical. It sent a signal that you cannot be swayed by ordinary forces. And heaven stood back, observing someone rare, someone who honors principle over convenience, the sacredness of your sacrifices. Every time you let go of something comfortable for the sake of growth, you made a sacrifice few would understand. Every time you stayed true while losing approval, you chose eternity over the temporary. These sacrifices were not in vain. They built resilience, wisdom, and depth into your spirit. They prepared you for the unseen responsibilities that accompany being chosen. Most people only see results. Heaven sees intentions. Heaven saw the countless moments you chose principle over pleasure. And that is why your actions created ripples that startled even the celestial realms. The trials that refined your soul. Your hardships were not punishments, they were refinement. Fire that purges weakness, storms that sharpen focus, solitude that reveals purpose. Through each trial you learned patience. Through each struggle you gained discernment. Through each loss you discovered perseverance. You emerged stronger, wiser, and more aligned than you were before. Every scar, every tear, every moment of doubt carried hidden wisdom. Heaven observed your endurance, noting that few could bear such testing and remain faithful and true. The invisible battles you won. Not all victories are seen. Some are fought in silence, against fear, against self-doubt, against despair. These battles are the ones that define the chosen. Every time you conquered your inner darkness, every time you resisted the urge to react destructively, every time you held your faith when hope seemed distant, you were winning victories no one else witnessed. These wins accumulate quietly, building spiritual power and divine alignment. Heaven's awe comes from recognizing that these invisible triumphs often outweigh the most visible achievements. Why your light cannot be dimmed. You carry a light that is not yours alone. It is part of something higher, eternal, and unstoppable. The world may try to dull it through criticism, rejection, or disbelief, but it cannot succeed. Every time you choose authenticity, you fuel this light. Every time you act with courage, you amplify it. Every time you hold your integrity, you protect it. The light you carry is the marker of a chosen soul. It is a beacon to others, a signpost for those awakening alongside you. Heaven recognized that light in you, and that is why what you did was so extraordinary. It could not be ignored. The path of the unseen. You walk a path that most cannot see. You navigate realms of spirit, consciousness, and destiny while others chase shadows. This path is solitary, demanding, and at times lonely, but it is also powerful, sacred, and transformative. Every choice, every decision, every moment of patience or restraint strengthens your alignment with what you were created to fulfill. Heaven witnesses each step along this hidden path, marveling at your courage and fidelity. The power of faith in action. Faith is not passive. It is active, courageous, and deliberate. The moment you acted in faith, when you chose trust over doubt, you demonstrated a rare spiritual mastery. Your actions were proof that faith is more than belief. It is practice. It is choosing the unseen over the seen, the eternal over the temporary, and the higher purpose over comfort. These actions created a resonance that shifted your life and the lives around you in subtle but profound ways. Heaven was moved because few act with faith so consistently, intentionally, and courageously. The moments you thought you failed. Failure is an illusion for the chosen. What seems like a setback is often the hidden hand of alignment. Every time you stumbled, every time plans fell apart, every time doors closed, you were being redirected, strengthened, and prepared. Your persistence turned apparent failure into triumph. Your faith transformed setbacks into lessons. Your endurance became your secret weapon. And heaven took notice, recognizing that the chosen one transforms every challenge into opportunity. The moment you embrace your truth. There comes a time when hiding is no longer an option. Pretending, compromising, or conforming stops working. You reached that moment. You embraced your truth, fully, completely, without apology, without hesitation, without fear of rejection. This act alone is revolutionary. Most never reach this stage. Most compromise their soul to please others, but you chose authenticity. Heaven recognized the courage it took. The bravery to stand in your full truth stunned even the celestial realm. The risks you took in silence. Courage is often loud in the human world, but the greatest risks are taken quietly. You risked relationships, comfort, and certainty for something unseen. You chose principle over popularity, purpose over ease, alignment over approval. Each risk carried unseen consequences, and yet you moved forward. These silent risks shaped the architecture of your life. They rewired destinies around you without anyone realizing it. Heaven watched, acknowledging that few possess the discipline to take such profound risks in quiet determination. The strength of patience. Patience is often misunderstood as weakness, but for the chosen it is power. You waited, you endured, you resisted the urge to act impulsively. Each moment of restraint became a building block. Each delay sharpened your insight. Each pause strengthened your alignment. Patience allowed the unseen to orchestrate outcomes beyond your imagination. It created timing that no human force could alter. Heaven saw your patience as a declaration of your readiness for higher responsibility and influence. The sacred circle of truth. You learned quickly that not everyone is meant to understand you. Not everyone is ready to receive your frequency. Choosing wisely who you trust and confide in was not avoidance, it was protection. It was alignment. It was respect for your spiritual energy. Your discernment in relationships and choices created sacred boundaries that shielded your growth. Heaven applauded your wisdom in preserving your spirit while navigating a world eager to dilute it. The unseen consequences of your actions. Even when no one noticed, your actions carried weight. Small gestures, private choices, and silent integrity produced effects far beyond perception. The ripples of your faith, courage, and discipline extended into unseen realms. They impacted timelines, opportunities, and spiritual currents that you could not yet measure. These consequences were proof that living with purpose always creates a resonance that cannot be ignored. Heaven observed the power of your unseen impact, and it was moved beyond what words can describe. The beauty of unrecognized work. You labored without applause, you served without reward, you healed without acknowledgement. Yet the beauty of your work was in its authenticity, its sincerity, and its unwavering dedication. The chosen do not seek recognition, they seek alignment. Every invisible act became a testimony of your spiritual maturity and strength. Heaven noticed the devotion in your uncelebrated moments, and those were the moments that truly defined you. The awakned mind sees through illusions. You are not easily deceived. You see the layers beneath human motives, the patterns behind events, and the truths that others miss. This insight sometimes isolates you, but it also guides you. It protects you. It positions you to act wisely and purposefully. Your awakened mind allowed you to navigate complexities with clarity, steering clear of traps that ensnare the unaware. Heaven was impressed by the clarity and depth of vision you displayed in moments when others blindly stumbled. The discipline of the chosen. Discipline is not punishment, it is freedom. Every choice to remain steadfast, to resist temptation, to honor your values, reinforced your alignment with destiny. Few possess the fortitude to consistently act with integrity under pressure. Fewer still do it silently, without seeking praise. Your discipline became a force that shaped not only your life, but also the energies around you. Heaven observed that discipline and recognized it as one of the defining qualities of the chosen. The moment you stood alone and stood strong. There were times when the world turned its back, when voices mocked, doubted, or dismissed you. You could have crumbled, you could have bowed. But you didn't, you stood firm. You held your ground. You honored your truth even when no one else understood. That courage is rare. That resilience is sacred. That strength echoes in realms most cannot see. Heaven was moved because in standing alone, you revealed the heart of the chosen, the unseen REWRDS of faithfulness. Not all blessings are immediate. Some unfold quietly, layering power and protection into your life over time. Every act of faith, every decision rooted in principle, every moment you chose integrity over convenience, these created unseen alignment. You are entering a season where the work done in silence begins to manifest in ways undeniable and profound. Heaven observed the trajectory of your faithful choices, and the shock was not disbelief. It was awe at the rare alignment of heart, mind, and soul. The call to embrace your full potential. Chosen one, you were never meant to play small. You were never meant to settle. You were never meant to dim your light for anyone's comfort. Every challenge you overcame, every moment of courage, every act of love and integrity, these are evidence that your potential is limitless. The world may resist, but your destiny cannot be denied. You are being elevated to levels only the prepared can reach. Now is the time to fully embrace your power, your awakening, and your divine purpose. The chosen one does not wait for permission. You do not need approval, recognition, or validation from anyone. Your authority comes from your alignment with truth and your unwavering commitment to your path. Stand boldly, speak clearly, act decisively. The life you are meant to live is waiting, and hesitation only delays what is already yours. The forces that guide you are responding to your courage, your discipline, and your integrity. Heaven was shocked by what you did, but now it waits for what you will continue to do. Take your place in the AWAKNED realm. This is your moment, not tomorrow, not when others notice, not when it feels convenient, now. Rise above doubt, rise above fear, rise above hesitation. Your choices will shape realities seen and unseen. Embrace the sacred power you were entrusted with. Protect it, honor it, and use it to create change that echoes beyond this life. If you are ready to fully claim your awakening, your purpose, and your destiny, then take action now. Like this video if you feel the power rising within you, comment below to declare that you are embracing your truth, and subscribe to Return to Awakening to continue walking this path of ultimate alignment, clarity, and spiritual authority. The world is waiting, the unseen is watching, and heaven is moved. Chosen one, your time is now. Step fully into it.